Good morning. It is Wednesday. Good morning. Good morning. How are you this morning? It is a glorious Wednesday morning where I am. It is so beautiful. Happy Hump Day to you. Beautiful sunshine coming in here for me. I am Valerie Shepard. I am coming to you live from the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self-Mastery. We're going to talk about some self-mastery today. Happiness is entwined in your self-mastery, which is your ability to manage you, all of you in your life, so that you can exquisitely manage whatever your life brings your way. And I love that word exquisitely. For me, it's like a juicy, delicious word. So hello out there in Facebook land. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Okay, I'm checking out all these different things to see if I need a producer. I need a co-host. Or checking it all out, but it looks all fine. Teaching myself some new things. Seems like there's always something new to learn, which is quite a glorious thing in life, right? To constantly be called into the space of what more is possible, what more can you do? Let's take just a moment to welcome the happy chat. Hello, peoples. So glad to be with you. So, this idea of self-mastery, I talk about a lot because the dynamic of who we're being at any given moment can either increase our opportunities for happiness, can bring us more smiles on our face, can help us feel a lot more glowing energy on the inside, triggered by the way we're relating to what's happening, or could trigger wounds and pain. And having been very much a walking wounded, like the walking wounded, not quite as much as like the zombies in Zombieland, not quite that bad, but in a place where the aspects of the false self, the not self, the wounds were being expressed more than the true self. And so mastering me involved getting to a place with those experiences, those memories, that cellular stuff, where I could acknowledge it, feel it, dance in it, notice it. Noticing is at least half of the potentiality in all of our lives, is noticing who we're being, and then going into the inquiry of where did that come from, or why might I be doing it that way, thinking it that way, seeing it that way, behaving this way, right? That's the inquiry. So today's topic, the only way out is through, has come from some conversations I've had with people who are going through difficult times, who are dealing with a lot of upset in routine, upset in sense of self, upset in ideas of control, ideas of safety and security, upset in relations, how I'm relating to this person or that person, or this dynamic or that thing. So quite a bit of upset. And what I've found, what I've experienced for myself, what I found with my students and clients, is the upset can often make us long for the way it used to be, and make us want to get back to normal, whatever that is. Get back to normal. You'll get back to your regular routine. Your old life will be, we try to get to the place where we last felt the most comforted, where we last felt the most empowered, where we last felt the most strong, where we last felt the most safe, where we last felt the most, I know who I am and what to do at this moment or in this situation. We last felt the most routinized in a way that the routine felt good. I mean, we're probably pretty routinized right now in the face of the dynamics that are shifting relative to this pandemic. And so today, talking about the only way out is through. These are not my words. These are the words of the American poet Robert Frost. And sometimes it's written as the best way out is through. Other times it's written the only way out is through. And it's probably true that it's the best way, because there are some other ways out. We'll talk about that in a second. So when I talk about self-mastery, I say exquisitely managing whatever your life brings your way. And what our lives are bringing our way right now, unwanted levels of, oh my gosh, like, so whether it's this pandemic and that's forcing you to stay at home and radically changing the dynamics of everything in your life, people are sick. Some of them are actually dying, losing the fight for their lives. And then there are all the people on the front lines, like trying to help them fight one day more. There's undoubtedly deep PTSD that's going to come out of this on the other side, from all these people who have been shepherding people from sickness back to healing, or from sickness through to a different outcome. That takes a lot of heart, a lot of energy, a lot of the self. But it doesn't take something as significant as a pandemic to throw our lives into a tailspin. There are often times in our lives when things are coming our way that we neither asked for nor really want. I can think of one monumental thing in my life, but there have been many, many others. And so this quote from Frost, the best way out is through, or the only way out is through, is meaningful. It's meaningful. I will tell you this, it made me remember my rugby days in high school. I never played rugby, but I was what is called a rugger hugger, not in high school, in college. So I shout out to my George Mason University ruggers and all the rugger huggers. Jill, just like amazing family of people. Hubba Bubba Ray, Bubbalicious, just so many. Jack, I mean, there's so many people in the rugby world, and the Washington Rugby Football Club, the Nova Club, and the George Mason University Club, Rugby RFC. So the reason I'm shouting out to them is because there is a song that would be sung at rugby parties called "We Are Warriors." And part of the song says, like, they come to a river, couldn't go over it, couldn't go under it, couldn't go around it, so we had to go through it. And so I think of that every time I think of this Robert Frost quote. Going around, under, and over, some things can work. Sometimes it's not healthy. We talk about, in the spiritual development world, spiritual transformation world, we talk about the concept of a spiritual bypass. We're actually bypassing the dynamics of whatever it is we don't want to experience, and we're making pretty on it. We're not willing to look at the emotional trauma that's coming up. We don't want to deal with the psychological wounds that might be there. And one of the authors in Psychology Today talks about this as this unbelievable, ongoing, never-ending desire to feel only that which feels good, only that. And Wayne Dyer talks about being in relationship with God is also a relationship of feeling good, feeling the goodness in us, feeling the divine moving in, through, around, and as us. And that is exquisite. And it's a both and equation. The divine is present even in those aspects of us that we are saying, I don't want this, and I would like it to go away. And the way that we dissipate the energy of that aspect of us that is potentially holding us back or keeping us down, or somehow what I call the false self or the not self, is to go deeper into it I talk to my students about taking a step closer. Like when we come into contact that with that thing, that aspect of us that we're saying, "Oh, I don't want to feel this." Can we just take a step closer? Can we make friends with it? Can we say hello, fear? Hello, anguish. Hello, anxiety. I know you. I know you're here to protect me, to serve me. And I'd like to be in a different relationship with you where it's not controlling what I see and what I do. So befriending that aspect is a really important thing. That's a part of going through it, as opposed to turning our back, walking away and pretending it's not there, in which case that energy's got to come back up again. It's coming up for us. So this only way out is through is kind of talking about the mini rebirths that we can have every time we're willing to say, I will experience this. I will see what it came to help me see at an even deeper level. I will experience, I will inquire what it came to teach me about me, from me, to me, for me. About me, from me, to me, for me. We are warriors, mighty, mighty warriors. Yes, we are built to withstand this. We are built to be the warriors of love, the warriors of triumph in the heart-centered way of the divine, in compassion, warriors for tolerance. We are in this hashtag, in this together, right? So what is the warrior nature of me that helps me go through the dynamics in my life that don't necessarily feel good, but that in the going through them, in the experience of being with it, being in it, dancing around, playing, the playfulness, being in the yes energy. I keep pulling this out, being in the yes energy. Yes, this is really a drag. And yes, I am willing to feel it and experience and inquire and be in the juicy dance of it. Yes, yes, I will. I am. I can. I have done this. I can do it again. So without doing the spiritual bypass, without only wanting to feel the good things in our lives, how do we go through times like this when A, it doesn't feel good, and B, didn't ask for it, C, don't want it, D, would like it to be over, right? How do we do that? So there are some steps, and I want to shout out to my lovely colleague, Jennifer Huff, amazing woman, The Wide Awakening. Check her out, because we did a presentation where we did a workshop last week where we talked about these steps. And I'm just going to go through them very quickly. But these were co-created with a magnificent seer and transformational teacher and guide and coach and just all out fun woman. And one of the things that we share together now that I've stopped blow drying and curling my hair is we share big hair. So this is a big hair shout out, high five to my dear friend Jennifer Huff. So step one, many of us are mourning right now. We're grieving. There's a loss, and that's perfectly fine and perfectly normal and perfectly acceptable and perfectly doable. Sometimes when we're deep in grief, depending on what it is that we are grieving and mourning, it can feel like we cannot withstand it and it's going to overtake us. And again, sometimes the feeling of it overtaking us is because we're fighting it. We're not actually flowing with it. We're not actually meeting it where it is and seeing what it has for us. Grief is an emotion, and emotions are waves of energy. They don't have to stay. If we think about the law of resistance, which says whatever we resist persists, the more we resist it, the longer it hangs around. So can we be in grief? And one of the statements that we allow people to play with is this one, like to go into your deepest place and connect with what you're feeling. So it might look like this. Like I'm personally grieving time connecting with friends. Like we've canceled several kind of Friday night movie nights and dinners out, and going down to see my brother Josh and sister-in-law Tammy at their home and staying for a weekend, and my girlfriend Liz, and like I'm grieving those times spent together. And yes, we've come up with workarounds. It's not the same. It's magnificent. Thank you, Zoom, and thank you, the technology that we have today. But nonetheless, I'm mourning the touch and the close proximity and the change of venue, the adventure of that. And so feeling it, allowing myself to feel it, is a moment of quiet and just saying, okay, there's a piece of me that doesn't like it. I'm missing that. So I say, I'm feeling sad and lonely. Yeah, I can feel that coming up. I feel sad and lonely, allowing myself to feel it just for a moment. And then I wish it weren't this way, which is a statement of fact, is a statement of truth. I'm being truthful. I wish it weren't this way. So you can try that. Get into your vulnerability, get into whatever it is, allow it to move. You will feel potentially an opening in your heart, like a little space, and the feeling will come up. And it's okay. Just claim it. Name what you're feeling. I'm feeling sadness. I'm feeling loss. I'm missing myself. I'm missing the self that I am when I'm with these people. I'm missing my routine. I'm feeling fear. I'm mourning the security that I felt when I had my job. I'm mourning the security I felt when I knew my kids were safe and happy. I'm mourning the loss of my senior year. Like whatever that is, I'm really upset about. I just am not going to have the experiences that seniors typically have. I'm missing the NCAA, my final opportunity to play as a varsity member of my basketball team in my college or university. It's a lot to lose. The idea is to feel it and to actually state what is. I wish it weren't this way. It's okay. It's okay. What's not okay? This is where the transformation happens, right? It's not okay to just stay there. Feeling the grief and mourning the loss is beautiful. Becoming the grief, becoming the mournful person is not okay. This is where we talk about the both and aspect of transformation, where I can feel the grief and sadness and I can still spiral up into the happiness and joy. I can feel the grief and sadness and still spiral up, maybe not all the way to happiness and joy, but maybe to neutrality, which is a higher vibration, which helps you attract more of the higher vibration things into your life, into the situation exactly as it is, right? This is the journey that I've been on for the last, well, it'll be 5 years on June 5th, since the brain hemorrhage, since the stroke, is mourning the loss of the dynamics that are still going on 5 years later. You can't necessarily see them. Yay. I am experiencing them 24/7, 365. Mourning the loss, but not becoming it as I work with this body and this brain to be the highest potential version of me at any given moment. Right? That's the both and. Got to go through it. Then you shift with the shift. Like what's calling to be shifted in me? What's shifting with me in this dynamic? When I get the mourning happening and allowing it to dissipate, how do I get into sacred curiosity? I call it an ears not necessary listening with my body. Like you can feel your body's talking to you, so is your life. It's not all going to be intellectual, full sentences with subject verb agreement, right? That's the mental mind wanting to intellectualize something. This dynamic may be calling for you to listen with something besides your ears and to hear that message. What is the message that isn't spoken? Now you're going to have to get quiet to hear it. So if you're stuck in the, why is this happening? What are they going to figure it out? He's not saying the right things. If you're stuck in that resistance, you will miss what is in this for you. Maybe this is an opportunity to look at what's not been working in your life that you haven't been willing to look at. It's still there. The fact that we do this, the fact that we ostrich ourselves doesn't change what is. What is going to be there. And maybe coming into a new relationship with what's not working, can I come into a new relationship with it in this period, right? And you might get into this place called the eye of the storm, where it seems like everything's over. And we might be approaching that now as we're talking about when are we going to reopen the economy, right? We may be in that place where it feels like we're moving out of this and we're in the eye of the storm and everyone's like, let's get out of this now. And there's a point at which potentially getting through it, we have to be careful about taking score too quickly, about deciding we've figured it all out, about deciding that it's done. I'm done with this period. I'm done with all of this. I don't need this anymore. This has to pass. The energy with which we manage being in the void that can be the eye of the storm. I have another Hump Day happy chat on that. Look for the one called Being in the Void. Like, how do I exist in the eye of the storm? How do I stay fluid and flexible and centered? Fluid, flexible, centered in the midst of what looks like it's over, and is it? Remember, in the eye of the storm, you've passed through the front end of it. You're in the eye, but there's also a back wave that's coming. And so preparing for that back wave and being ready. What more is possible? What more is being called for from me? What more wants to enter this world, my world, through me and as me? What am I here to bring? Where's the juicy deliciousness in this pause? And in the second wave, am I going to get even into a more visceral relationship with it? Again, not retreating into the intellect, but what's calling me? What's calling me? And how radically different is it? And in the radical differentness of it, is that my nirvana calling to me? I may not want to retreat into the normal. I can't wait to get back to normal. No. Maybe those days are forever gone, and what's calling to you is so juicy and delicious that you can become a place. You can get to that place within you that is so wanting it. And you are listening for that calling. Maybe you're going to leapfrog over that old normal and get into a new place. Maybe you're going to just follow the breadcrumbs. So you're taking baby steps. As a breadcrumb reveals itself, maybe you'll dance in that for a moment. Maybe you're being called to learn something new. Take a pause, learn something new, or learn something new that you've always wanted to learn, that in the doing of it actually pivots you, gives you a pivot to a place you never even thought was possible. And oh my God, I'm so happy in that place. Maybe. The only way out is through. Going through something instead of retreating to the familiar is definitely going to bring up some fears, low vibration feelings. You're going to experience the loss, the grief. It's okay. Feeling them is absolutely essential to getting what's coming to you from them, to get what is really happening at the deepest levels. Acknowledge them, feel them, play with them, dance with them. Dancing's fun. Dancing your soul light style. They're just your internal energy wanting to move And when you allow it to move, you are in a space where happiness can erupt from the inside out. So that's today's Hump Day Happy Chat. I love being with you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to encourage and invite you to share, not because I love likes. That's not what it's about. The sharing is that there is somebody who is not a part of my tribe, who's a part of your tribe, who is needing this message right now. You don't have to know who it is. Just share the message, and the people who are drawn to it will receive it. And so you help bring more light and love into the world. That's worth doing and being a part of. I thank you so much for being with me today on the Hump Day Happy Chat from the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self-Mastery, helping you to master yourself in your life so that you can exquisitely manage whatever your life brings your way. And right now, hashtag we're in this together. Always were, still are, will always be. We're in this together. Hashtag keep on keeping on, people. One foot in front of the other, one heart, open, receiving, giving, cycle of reciprocity. Love yourselves. Love your neighbor. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. Here's the kicker. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. And may all beings be free. Yay, yay, yay. Happy Hump Day. See you